Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. Hi, everybody. How
Hi,
is
everybody.
Oh my gosh, this has been an amazing week. We've been hearing Damaris talking about this Pluto return for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
And how we harken back to 246, 248 years ago when this country was founded, right? And we've been kind of looking at it from an American perspective. But I want to open that up a little bit this week and go, oh my God, Ukraine, go. You rock it.
You rock.
Yeah, baby. The whole world is changing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We support Ukraine all the way across the board. And so, we're behind you 100%. All right.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's the nation, but it's also the planet,
Yes.
So as everybody's experiencing a purge,
Yep.
everybody's, a destruction to then be able to rebuild on better foundation,
Let me go take care of something. I think my dog is locked in the closet or something.
No, go ahead,
I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second, okay?
It reminds me of an old Saturday Night Live sketch.
So how you been
amongst yourselves? So it is. I mean, the whole Ukraine aspect is rocking, and being on the same continent that it's all occurring on, energetically speaking, it's not an overwhelming energy, but you can you feel the purpose and the desire. Because the Ukrainians, they're like, we've been free. We want to stay free. Go screw yourself.
Well, it's really like I was saying, United States is like, if the United States falls, everyone falls. You know what I mean? Like this nation is, I feel, is a magical nation, but it's happening everywhere where there's destruction, because that's what Pluto brings, in order for it to he's the destroyer and the rebuilder. Yes. And so it's, to rebuild on a better foundation with better principles, I think.
It really was. And I think that for me, it is very apropos, if you will, that the Ukrainians, although it's a lot closer than we were to Great Britain and the United States, the timing, right, with the whole Pluto returns is very similar. We're done. And,
the vibe is there. The vibe is there. It's like, you're not taking advantage of us ever again.
I mean, look at Canada too. What was happening in Canada? I mean, I don't know if it's still happening. I haven't been up with that, but it's all about freedom too. It's about freedom to choose. And if we lose that right, which is what I was talking about, we all have free will, which was given to us by God, and by birthright. And we should know right from wrong. I mean, most people know right from wrong. So we have an inner compass that allows us to know what's, if we're doing something wrong or if we're doing something right. I don't particularly like all these rules, regulations, and all of these things, you know what I mean, that are limiting my spirit. And so I know right from wrong, like I said, and I have respect for other people and their opinions and where they're at and how they feel. I shouldn't be, forced to do something I don't want to do.
Well, I want to bring into it as well, a little there behind the vibe of it, okay? Because when the U.S. was founded, right, there was a change in how we did war, okay? British troops were regimented. They on an open field, and they marched in lines and so on, right? Well, for those who know about the American Revolution, the tide turned in the U.S. with Seth, what's his last name? Anyways, the Green Mountain Boys, okay, up in Vermont and New Hampshire. And it was like the beginnings of guerrilla warfare. I mean, these mountain men came down out of the woods, ambushing the British who were going, wait a minute, you know, we don't have an appointment for this.
Yeah.
And it was a different way of doing war. And that was what allowed the US to turn the tables on the greatest empire in the world, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing a similar thing 250 years later, right? With technology. Go Elon Musk, right? For sending, you know, activating the Starlink satellites, sending more terminals over there, because what that does is it allows the Ukraine to stay connected with the rest of the world, and Russia cannot cut them off and isolate them, because to do so, they would have to attack centers in other countries, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they have to, and private citizens. So remember, Elon Musk is a private citizen. You know, the cyber attack warfare that's happening to Russia right now is happening from our dark web gurus.
Yes.
So, okay, seriously, not a fan usually of it, but right now, y'all rock.
Right,
okay?
Those black hats are riding in on white horses today.
That's right. No, and so yeah, for me, the whole it's such a different vibe.
And it's just going to be a domino effect to every country.
Everybody, we all understand that inalienable right, you know, that freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and it was. We don't need to be building empires anymore.
Yes.
We all are. I really believe that we're trying to respect one another.
Yes.
And with respect, it doesn't come at the end of being bullied.
100%. I mean, back a few months ago, maybe you would, you know, I think I talked about it on one of the shows. There was this, and we're talking about masks, for example. It was this man that took off his mask, and this lady just attacked him. I mean, he was drinking water, so he had to take off the mask. So it's just like, you know, people really go to extremes, and she's really like taking away his rights. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Right. Bullying is passing away, and we're seeing it happen both individually like that, where it's like, you know, chill out, lady, you know, he's not hurting anybody.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
To, you know, on a grand scale worldwide. Like,
oh yeah.
Exactly. You know, and if you're so afraid, then you shouldn't be traveling. I'm sorry. You know, that's my opinion.
I know, true story. As somebody who's, you know, I'll tell you, I rode 6 planes not so long ago, a month ago, and, you know, all across, and 5 of the 6, we were sardines in the plane.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I looked at my husband and my daughter when the one flight she was with us, and I was like, well, if you're nervous, you got to get over it. Because
I mean, you got to get to your destination, you know? So just put your mask on because it's required on the plane. If you have to take it off to eat or drink something, then put it right back, and that's it. But you don't go attacking other people.
No, you don't. Yeah. And here's the really cool thing. Wearing your mask on the plane is you have a better chance of not being sick at the end, whether it's COVID or cold.
Right. I was going to say that because it's not necessarily a bad thing to wear a mask on a plane anyway, even not in a pandemic, because you've got 200 people that are in various stages or may or may not be in various stages of just the common cold. Right. And recycled air for how many hours you're in the air. I mean, we make it a standard practice anyway, as soon as we get off a plane, to throw a packet of emergency into a bottle of water and drink that as we're heading out, just to give our body the chance to start fighting off anything we might have breathed in on the plane. Exactly. And it's not to make everybody bad. It's a matter of self-care.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be made to feel wrong for self-care.
Yes. And that's what's happening. It's like it's almost like if it gets out of hand, it'll become a civil war because we're attacking each other. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, we've had way too many people who have gained the right to speak out loud. And if you know what I mean by that aspect, and they're following the philosophy, if I yell louder, it means I'm right.
Yeah.
Or I'll break it down into the same level of grade school that it is. If I yell louder, that means I'm righter.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I was watching, what was I was watching something. Kevin and I have been watching a variety of different things, and I forget exactly what the topic was, but for me it was like, can we just shut it off, because all they want to do is yell.
Yeah.
And the louder they yell, the more right they think that they are.
Yeah.
And everybody's right within themselves, because that's how they feel, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna, I don't discredit their emotional attachment to the rightness of what it is that they're stating. However, for me, the aspect, I do remember that whatever the topic was, it was like, you guys aren't even, it was one of those, you're misdefining exactly what it is that you're talking about. Or my favorite one is one of the guys was like, I really don't know what it is, but this is why I don't like it. It's like, okay, but I feel like we've been giving way too many people like that the camera and the microphone and a Twitter account. I think you need to have a license to have a Twitter account. I mean, seriously, I don't know.
Well, it used to be, they used to say about Twitter, going on Twitter is like going to the edge of the Grand Canyon and yelling.
Okay.
It's like, it might echo, but nobody's really listening.
Well, I'll tell you, it's real. Jen just called me like right before we got on. For those of you who do not know who Jen is, it's my daughter, and she's a full-time college student. And she's like, Mom, I just had to walk out of my first class. I'm like, oh, are you all done with your class? She's like, no, this is the first time I've ever walked out of a class. I'm like, oh, why? She said, because people think that what they're reading on Twitter about what's happening with the Ukraine and what's happening in NATO is correct. Standing there in an auditorium and quoting what's on Twitter is factual. And she's like, I had to leave because I lost my voice and I couldn't talk to them. I'm like, okay.
Girl.
But she's like, since when has Twitter become an official an official site that you can quote from for world events?
Right. Well, and that's unfortunately, what we've been conditioned is, if it comes from an official source, right? Like the media has become an official source, right? Then it must be true. Especially our generation, we grew up with people you could trust, like Walter Cronkite and Jennings and good journalists that actually fact checked and gave you an unbiased opinion for you to extrapolate your own
which is
opinion
what's supposed to be.
Right. And then we've like morphed into this world of everybody with a smartphone has something to say, and you are fed those opinions that agree with your own. And so everybody thinks they're right.
Yeah.
The greatest thing that I learned in school was in order to prove something, you first need to work on disproving it.
Yeah.
And so I as annoying and as time consuming as that was, I'll tell you, it's one of those things that have served me personally well. So but in any case, it just goes to everything that's going on right now with this whole Pluto returns. And
I mean, it just started.
And everything that you've been talking about, Damaris, essentially since you've joined the show, honestly, everything that you've been talking about, if you really trace it back, and those of you who have, or you're just new to coming to Three Crones in the Woo Woo, welcome.
Yes,
Welcome. Thank you. But B, go back and listen to some of the previous podcasts, especially Damaris's section. Not that, Gayle and I are not.
No, it's just because of the planning.
Thing.
Hers is like timely stuff.
Yeah,
hers is.
It is.
To see how hers, and you can see the pattern. Again, that for me is like, wow.
For me, when I look at a person's chart, a natal chart, I can see everything because, the alignment of the planets, what happened, what's coming. So it's just like, and it's
what, Damaris, you know what you and I need to do? This was, maybe I don't want to hear that. I don't know. I'm getting maybe not so much.
The gargoyles are whispering from the corners.
Everyone's whispering in my ear. So the thought that I got, and now I'm getting like, maybe not, is that you and I will put myself out for display.
Okay.
But I'm going to volunteer that you do my natal chart and we do it live.
That would be awesome.
And so that you can explain just what, a creepy person I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a sparkly unicorn.
Well, it'll be your characteristics, right? And so how you respond to things, because that's really what it is.
It would be really good, I think, for everyone. Maybe it's just me. I think it would be good.
No, we can do it.
For people to understand, because you'll see, I'm now seeing patterns of things that you've been talking about, not just in myself, but in, the global surroundings. Yeah. I'm seeing that as it's like I'm able to pull those threads together.
Yeah.
But,
speaking of all of that, let's let Damaris do this week's, because I love the conversation what we're having, but we got to get to what's on tap.
We do.
All right. So today I want to talk about the new moon in Pisces because it's tomorrow. So I figured let's talk about that. And, as you guys know, the moon is all about our emotions, our subconscious things, what we have buried, and we react towards everything in life, everything that happens in our personal life and everything that's happening globally. We react based on how we feel internally or what we, whether it's right or wrong, that's how we react based on our emotions. And so the new moon in Pisces has a lot of good things, though. I'm going to talk about the good things. It's about purging. It's about cleansing. It's about, cleansing body, mind, and soul. So everything we've been through, let's say since 2020, when this pandemic started, a lot of people, maybe not us so much, but a lot of people have suppressed a lot of emotions or have gone through a lot of emotional things that can, if they don't release it and purge it, it can definitely become like a trauma that will affect their organs, because it does. The body and the mind is connected. So this new moon tomorrow that it starts is about purging the body, mind, and spirit. There's many ways of doing that. We can do fasting, we can do decluttering, we can do, some sort of cleansing of the house also, just really getting rid of what no longer serves us, whether it's something physical or something emotional or something mental. If we've held a negative thought pattern for a long time, let it go so that new life can come in, so that new life can, come into your life and you could expand your life instead of going through cycles of the same repetitive things. Because when we don't let go, we're going to repeat over and over and over these cycles. And then, we don't move forward. It's almost like riding a stationary bike. We're riding, but we're in the same spot. We get exhausted and we haven't moved an inch. We're sweating, but we haven't really moved forward. Yeah. So that's what that new moon is about. So I'm really happy. Now, also the new moon in Pisces, I see Pisces as a sign that is very kind, very compassionate. So that's where we need to be too, letting go. Forgiveness, I feel, is really important. Letting go of grudges, letting go of, people that have hurt us or wronged us, because also based on our previous emotions, we perceived that wrong, based on those emotions from the past. So, we need to look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective, maybe from a higher perspective, and say to ourselves, okay, why did I have to go through this experience? Why did this person have to come into my life and hurt me? What is it that I have to learn from it? And how can I grow from it? And so that's the higher perspective that we're looking into. I love that, we have a number one today, because it's also about new beginnings. The one is ruled by the sun, right? It's ruled by the planet, the sun. But because we're in Aries, right? We're in the sign of Aries. Thank you. We're in the sign of Aries. Now we have to use the sun conjunct Mars, because the number one is ruled by the sun, but we're in the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars. So now the sun and Mars together, that's a lot of fire energy. That's a lot of, life, vitality, rejuvenation. Look at what we've been through all this, these two years, let's say, because it's actually started in March, right? So it's going to be exactly 2 years. Yeah. So look at what we've been through these last 2 years. What did we learn? What emotions, again, do we have to purge? What new life do we have to add to ourselves? And as you release everything that needs to go, you expand your life, you expand your aura, really, and allowing new things to come in. And so that number one, really, when you start, vibing at that level, you become assertive, you become a leader, an initiator, you initiate new things, you become confident with yourself. I mean, we've been through a lot, on a global level, and also on a personal level, some people more than others, but we have to really be proud of ourselves, I think, because it's been a lot. We've never experienced something like this in our lifetime. The last time we had a global pandemic was in 1917. We weren't around, so this is new to us. And so I think we're doing pretty good. Also, the number one, when you elevate it to an 11, double, master number 11, it's about cosmic wisdom. It's about being a part of, a larger picture, being a part of the masses and helping in the healing of humanity, and also in the evolutionary process of humanity. And so if someone is looking at something from a very low perspective, from a low vibration, they're going to suffer a great deal, because they're not getting the bigger picture. So for us, when we, go to that master number, we are seeing the bigger picture, and then we can help someone else see it that way. Not that we're imposing our beliefs on them. It's just a different way of looking at it. It's a different way of perceiving something that may reduce your stress. It may reduce your anxiety, and may prevent you from an illness, perhaps.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're
welcome. My gosh. Yeah. I'm, I was reading something about the new moon in Pisces. You know exactly when it happens tomorrow?
Not exactly. I'm not, I didn't
3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Happens at 12:34 Eastern time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have this book. It's called An Ephemeris, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of an ephemeris. No. So that's what I look at to see, where everything is. It's really a book. It starts. There's 2 books. One starts in the night from 1900 to 2000, and then the other one from 2000 to 2050. So you can see everything that's going to happen in 2050, because in the ephemeris you see all the alignments. So it's pretty interesting. So I look at that book to see what's going on and what's happening,
That's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm looking at astrology, and that's one of the reasons why I never really took off with it myself, although I love what the vibe of it is, right? Like but the calculations part, it was like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
graphs and numbers and oh my gosh, and round things.
Yeah.
No, not for me. But I love that you can actually like track that stuff. And if if you see in your mind in that kind of way, that you can calculate those things out and see exactly what's going to happen with it. Thanks so much, Damaris.
It's amazing. Oh, you're welcome.
Really is.
Yeah, that was really good.
Awesome. Now, Miss Krista, are you ready to go?
Oh, I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be with this week's crystal. Okay, I'll tell you what, this one has given me a run for my money. So the Amulet stone, also known as thunder eggs, is a really cool stone because it's classified as a nodule or a geode that's created because of volcanic ash.
Mm. And
it's volcanic ash that has like solidified, and then inside the cracks has, silicate, similar to an opal. Silicate is in there, and then water gets in. Now it doesn't get enough pressure to create necessarily an opal, as you see there, but what it does is that's all agate. So the way I like to think of the thunder egg is that it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
So true. So true.
So you got to think of it if you're looking for this stone. Yes, you'll get them now where they're sliced open and you'll see what's inside when you're getting it. But I challenge you, if you're looking for a thunder egg, go for the one that energetically draws you. All right. Now, I know I've explained this to people, Sue Paquin being one of them, who may or may not be on today. I do not know. And she always says, I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't get this when you're saying this to me. However, she did just recently experience it with an order of bracelets she just got in. And she messaged me. She goes, oh my God, I understand. So, sometimes it'll just be a knowing of what one that you need to work with.
No, she's on.
And she's on. Woohoo! But the agate or the thunder egg in the is a really great one for right now with everything that's going on. And it's great because, of course, of everything Damaris just said. And when I'm going to say this, you're all going to go, what? It's really awesome for healing. And it's awesome for the healing of thyself. Yeah. The mind and the body. It is good for letting go of what doesn't work for you so that your body has space to heal. Your body has space to get aligned. Your body has space to connect. It is a wonderful stone to have as like an anchoring point. So think of, if you find one, I'm not sure if they make it. did not anywhere in my journeys of looking up this stone see jewelry. So it's one of those ones, and I would almost be drawn to it in geode form, as close to a geode form as I could get, so that I could actually remember that it's anchoring me, it's grounding me, it's making me remember that self-care is not something that you should put aside.
No,
it's something that really needs to be important, because it will help you remember that wisdom of being of needing to connect to you. So yeah, it would be I recommend that if you're feeling really out of sorts and out of balance, this might actually be the stone for you. Now, I will tell you this, looking for this today, I didn't look up amulet stone. I looked up thunder egg. And it's there, it's out there. And I know that it's readily available. It's just a case of finding people that might have it. If you're out on the West Coast, up in the Pac Northwest area, they probably have thunder eggs readily available on the ground. You just need to know where to go and look. I was watching a person's video and they were out, and that's what they're picking up. But you can get agates out there everywhere as well. But it's a volcanic area. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's all that volcanic ash and all these beautiful stones.
So funny you talk about ash. You know, I just want to interrupt for a second. As you were speaking of saying all of these things, I have a wood burning stove, right? And sometimes I want my husband to turn it on, but it's full of ashes. So he's like, oh, I can't turn it on because I have to clean it up and get rid of the ashes. So it's really like what we're doing, because this is all fire energy, right? Volcanic energy, fire energy, you know, the sun and Mars, I mean, in Aries and Mars energy, that fire. We got to get rid of the ashes, what no longer is burning. So we can
the phoenix can rise from it.
Yes.
And that's, remember, the phoenix rises from the ashes. It's very interesting what I've been hearing in my music and stuff, songs, and you guys may have had this, where a song comes to in mind, you know, you consider it an earworm. Some people might. Well, those are the ones that are there all the time and you can't just seem to get rid of them. Other times for me, especially of late, I've just been getting songs. It's like they pop into my head and I'm like, oh, that's curious. That's an interesting thing. Sometimes a flash of a picture, but some of the things that I've been hearing and then I'll play it on, you know, Spotify or whatever, have really been all about rebirth of some sort. You know, it's like letting go and coming up. And no, the song Let It Go has not been one of the songs.
It's got a different vibe to it, though. It really does.
That one does have a different vibe. But yeah, so it's been really kind of cool. It's as you're working with crystals, as you're working with what Damaris says, and even what the word wisdom will be that we get here from Gayle in a few minutes, know that how you connect to what it is we're saying is what you need most at that given moment. You know, we were talking before we started our bits about people having their way with being online and just spewing whatever it is they want, whatever their thought is, right? But it really and truly, a lot of it is it's about taking away what works with you, and what resonates with you. And it's not to say that what we're saying won't resonate with you later. As a matter of fact, it's really funny. I just had that happen with me this past weekend. I was perusing Netflix looking for something, right? And I share this story because it's really kind of curious. It has now led me down a rabbit hole. Love it when that happens. Love it when that happens. Some of you are probably fans of the show Manifest. Have never watched it. It's popped up and it's been recommended to me by people. It's been recommended to me by Netflix. And I'm just like, what? Whatever.
That's that plane, right? That crashed.
Yeah, the plane, right? And I'm like, no, I don't need to watch. No. So the other day, it came up again. And I was like, oh, well, whatever. I'll just put this on and zone out and I can just do my other things, right? And I'll, whatever. I just was looking for voices and I didn't want it to be the news. So I just like binge watched 3 seasons. I'm just like, holy mackerel. All right. Because, you know, I wasn't open to watching it before, but for some reason, and I'm kind of seeing, I needed to hear not necessarily the whole storyline. There's backstory to the storyline.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to hear the backside of what's going on. And so that was what it was, is I was connecting to that, which has now led me down a rabbit hole of a new book I'm listening to.
I like those rabbit holes.
Yeah, and it's kind of opening. It's time for me to broaden my understanding and perspective on some religions and mythologies, and in some of it's just more a case of upping my level, more so than anything else. And as a side note, I just need to add this one too. Did you know that today is the day of remembrance for the witch trials of Salem, Massachusetts in 1679, I think it was? I did not know that.
Yikes. We probably
did not know that.
To the stake.
Yeah. Yep. So in remembrance of all those people that were burned, for not being witches,
and pressed
and drowned and everything else.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
It is.
But on a lighter note, I think that people should do a ceremony, a fire ceremony tomorrow when, with the
that's a great idea.
And light the light, and ignite the light within them so that they can empower the God within them. I really do think that.
Or goddess.
Goddess.
I like
or
it.
goddess.
I like it.
I like that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Definitely. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Krista.
Okay, Gayle, she's like, I am so tired.
I am. My schedule has been very, very strange lately. It's been, it's like split shifts all the time. So, but it's been interesting. It's been very, very interesting. So we want to talk a little bit about the card for today.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. At least it's not the 10 of Pentacles again.
I know.
Thank goodness.
That's like 3 times in a row.
No, we've stepped up. It's the Knight of Pentacles.
Okay.
Again, Pentacles. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. So today's message, right, with the Knight of Pentacles. And usually this is like, the Knight is the person who serves the sovereign.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Usually a young male, not too young, 20s to 30s type of thing. When it's embodied, but it can have that young masculine energy. It doesn't have to be male. It doesn't have to have the physical attributes of the suit of Pentacles, but that energy of the knight in shining armor, bringing forth material service. Okay. Kind of like Elon Musk. Just saying. And yes, I'm a Musk fan. You may not be, but this is one you got to give him credit for. Come on.
I do give him credit.
I do. I think it's awesome. I love Elon. So
today's message is to work on a project that is important to you today. Of course.
Funny. I've been doing that.
Right? You have a very practical and strategic mindset that will serve you well. Don't get caught up in the little details. Keep on moving and producing. You can come back to refine later. Okay? So yeah, I love how it just all fits in together as usual.
It's so funny.
Right? So what are the projects that you are working on today? Put them in the comments if you'd like. Right now,
projects we should do seriously, and I don't know if you guys will say yes, but I was thinking about, how you find those candles that have crystals in it.
Yeah.
So like
my daughter makes those.
Like do our own candles. Krista does the crystal, you do the words, and I can do the astrology numerology to that whole thing.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
I like that.
3 Crones candles.
Yes,
I like
with
that.
Everything we do.
Yes, a nice affirmation across the front.
Yeah. That would be me with the wording and her with the crystals, and I would do the numerology and astrology to that particular candle.
I love my other daughter gets candles she gets candles all the time, but she's got some that I love the irreverent, right? And some of her candles, like one says, "Thanks for all the orgasms," things like that. I love it.
I bought a Mercury retrograde candle the other day when Mercury was in retrograde. Yeah, I found it at Home Goods.
Oh,
interesting.
I'll go get it and I'll show it to you guys. I thought it was pretty neat. And I was burning it while we were going through the retrograde. Mercury.
Oh, interesting.
I
have a friend on the West Coast. I say West Coast, I'm not there anymore. And that is, she makes candles for moon phases and stuff. And her candles are always so lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be good. I know. Gayle.
Yes.
Continue on with your.
All right. So, here's what we're going to talk about this week. Unlocking your full self-expression. All right.
Ooh. I just want to show it.
Pretty. That's cool. What does it smell like?
Smells pretty good. And it's a vegetable soy candle.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool. All right. So unlocking your full self-expression. It never fails. This all comes together. But here's the thing that I want to start with. For the last 2 years, all right, we have been oppressed, repressed, and suppressed in so many ways.
Yeah.
Whether it's like Damaris was talking about earlier, going out in public and not being able to remove your mask long enough to take a sip of water without feeling like you're going to get attacked by somebody, right?
Yeah.
To being fed information through your social media that supports the fact that you're right. So when you start interacting with other people that are being fed a different feed, you come up against, well, no, you're right, or I'm right, not you, right?
Yeah.
And nobody's giving enough space to go, oh, from the information I've received, I think I'm right. And I can recognize from the information that you're getting, you're probably led to believe that you're right too. Where are we both right, and where can we both be being given faulty information, right? Like in spirit of inquiry as opposed to adamancy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've really had this this need for each human being, right? We all have this need to express who we are as individuals, traumatized. We are afraid that we're going to be slapped down if we give from the heart, our opinions, how we feel, share our vibe, and so on, right? And this energy that's coming in now with this Pluto return and all of this, what's happening on the world stage, is really this energy of the phoenix rising from the ashes. Like, we are burnt out on this shit. Okay, we are burnt out, and Ukraine is leading the way. They're like, fuck you, I'm free, get the fuck out of my place, right? And you know, that revival and that rising to go, no, I am a sovereign being too. I have a life of my own. I have a beingness of my own, and I am going to stand for that. And you can go over there and do that for yourself, but you're not going to come into my space and try to, you know, superimpose your desires on me any longer, right? You know, and this is the time.
We have to rise,
time, right?
Yeah.
So we've got this new moon in Pisces tomorrow, right? And for me, Pisces is very, very emotional. Now, when people say emotional, it's kind of funny because I look at my daughter who's a Pisces, and she is not emotional. She just cannot handle the level of emotions that me and my other daughter exhibit. She's just like, you guys are freaking, you know, high maintenance, right? She feels everything very deeply, right? And so she kind of stays aloof because she doesn't want to appear high maintenance, you know, and she doesn't want to be led by her emotions. And of course, I'm sure that her rising sign and her moon sign come into play there as well.
Absolutely.
But generally, when we think of Pisces, we think of very much emotions. Water, spirit. Okay. And we've got this new moon in Pisces coming to fruition at 1, 2, 3, 4 on 3/2. Okay. So, and just so happens today's Number of the day is 1. So we got 3,
One.
2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Again, counting down and counting up.
Yep.
The revival, the taking off again, the phoenix rising. Okay.
Yep.
So what I've been doing this week is I've been preparing, if you'd like to call it a spell, if you'd like to call it a working, an affirmation, whatever. Because right now I am ready for new beginnings. We're almost ready to publish and launch the 7-figure Sunrise Summit ebook for sale. Just doing the final stuff on that for, like the copy writing and editing. It's almost ready to go out. So there's this new energy for me of on the precipice of new business, new work. I'm looking for a new place to live that's my very own, right? So, and then that's a new phase of life for me, because since I was 19, I have been a mother. I've been providing for others. I have not been alone. I have not had my own space. I've always lived for others, for the family, right? And I will become a true empty nester with, if I want to go out at 2:30 in the morning, I can, kind of energy, right?
If you have energy to go out at 2:30 in the morning, call me, because I'll just be like, damn, girl, where did you get that?
I agree with you, Krista.
It's all about the nap at 6 p.m.
Oh, okay. All right. She caveated that.
But see, I'm getting little flashes of this too, because like yesterday, you guys know I do DoorDash a little bit. And I went to pick up this order from Taco Bell, and I mean, literally a stack of tacos like this, and then another taco pack and like 4 drinks. And as soon as I pick it up, I get this text from the customer going, "Hey, I know I bought a lot. Would you like some?" Right?
Oh,
so
my
I'm like,
goodness.
"Oh, you're very sweet, very kind." But no, I had my dinner. And then I go and I show up and I deliver it to this guy, and he's like young 20s, handsome, dark-skinned guy. Oh, he was charming. Okay. And he's like, "Would you like to come in?" And I'm like, "Honey, I got kids older than you, okay?" But I'm just like, oh, okay. So the next phase of life, I could be a cougar.
You might be.
I could be.
Yes.
I could be a cub trainer. Either way. Anyway.
Trainer, whatever.
So my point with all this is I've been working to get this and looking at crystals that I could use and bringing in that Pisces new moon energy of the emotions, right? And of course, as well, this goes into unlocking that full self-expression, getting to that place where this is the life that I see for myself, that I want for myself. And I'm asking you this week to get into that energy too. Right? Get into that Ukraine energy. Fuck you, people. This is my existence. Back off.
My life.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And if we can each do that without getting into other people's space and going, but because I'm doing this, you can't do that. No, they can go do what they want too. Right? This is for you. If each of us just stayed in our own square about what it is that we want to be as an individualized expression of God, the whole world would find peace.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
How amazing would it be if we, just worried about ourselves?
Right?
Imagine
and
that.
not from a selfish point of view, but from an empowered point of view.
Yes. From
a soulful point of view.
Because it doesn't mean that you don't care about others. It doesn't mean you won't be there to help others. What it means is that you're so comfortable with who you are, you can see people for who they are.
Exactly. And caring for and being there for people may be a very big part of your self-expression.
Yes.
Right? How we come into relations with other people. As long as it's based in love, as long as it comes from the heart, then it's a positive thing. It's when we start, getting too far up top here and thinking ahead of what could happen if they don't agree with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
what does that mean about me? That's all circuitry bullshit.
Yeah.
Let it go.
It doesn't matter what they think about you, because that's their business.
Right.
Remember that, people. What someone's thinking about you, that's all on them.
Absolutely.
What you're thinking about you is all on you.
Yes. And don't take on what they're thinking about you as accurate about what's true about you, because everything that they're thinking about you is coming through their own filters of insecurity as well.
Yeah.
That they've taken on from other people too. All right. So in working around with this, I've been looking at energy work for new beginnings, new job, new business. Sorry.
Yes,
Thank you,
Alice. There you go, Gayle.
Woohoo! Awesome. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Awesome stuff.
Yes,
okay.
awesome.
So along those lines, I want to introduce you to, a combination of rocks that we're putting together here. And I want to give you some advice on what to do, or I don't want to say necessarily that, some suggestions on what to do, right? So for new beginnings, right? New home, new job, new business, citrine, right?
It's very pretty. Very
malachite.
Nice.
Now this is raw. Don't hold this between your teeth. This is toxic. No. Do not use it in water, even if it's polished. Toxic. No. Don't do that. Toxic. But you can hold it in your hand just fine. Okay?
Very penetrating energy, that's citrine. I may say so myself.
Don't you love it?
It is. That one's a
really beautiful golden.
Yeah.
It's almost.
Oh, and it has rainbows.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It's actually got angel wings in the rainbow. It's beautiful.
I think I beautiful. See that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Forceful energy.
Yes. And then jade is the next one on the list, but I don't happen to have a piece of jade. So I'm actually going to go with prehnite because it is a form of jade. Okay. And then peridot. Now, since I don't have a larger chunk of peridot, I just have a little bottle of chips. I could use that. Okay.
Yep, you can.
But I wanted to have the actual stone in my hand as opposed to separated from my hand with glass. So we're going with aventurine because I've gotten approval from our crystal witch, our crystal goddess to, aventurine's got similar energy. Give everybody a little bit of a what you told me about what it can replace peridot for.
So it's aventurine is just really good for replacing peridot in this particular situation because it opens up opportunities, possibilities, and it really helps you to expand your own energy so that think of it as a way of creating the space for you to turn.
Yes.
Oh, there's an opportunity right there. Oh, wait, that's it. Oh, that was but that one might be really the opportunity I'm looking for. So it opens up it's a really remarkable thing when you start working with it as a way of opening up opportunities, new beginnings and possibilities for those times when you're moving or when you want to move on, because it really can help you focus without focusing. If that makes sense.
It's funny because it goes back to what I was saying about purging, right? Cleansing.
It is, and it's great with that.
Cluttering.
It does. It removes the clutter. It removes the static noise, the white noise that we so frequently get caught up in, and that we sometimes get overwhelmed with. So yeah, it's a really good one. So nice. I think I love all the stones. Are you doing anything else with it?
Yes. Okay. So we've got the citrine and we've got the 3 greenies. Strangely, they're all green, right?
They are.
All right. And we'll be meditating with those, visualizing, meditating. So set your timer for 10, 15 minutes and just take yourself on a walk through the new space that you'd like to find yourself in. These are specifically working on the new home aspect of it, okay? But you can also, if you want to do a little bit more traveling, for example, if you want to, do some home remodeling and stay where you're at, that's fine too. But for 5, 10, 15 minutes, as long as you can stand. Some of us can't necessarily sit still for that long. We're not necessarily as practiced at keeping our thoughts in line. And that begs the suggestion, whenever your mind wanders while you're meditating, just gently bring it back to the subject that you're meditating on. Don't make it wrong. Don't clench up. Don't go, oh, I can't do this. No, your mind will tend to wander. That's how your brain works. Various circuits that go off on tangents.
Yep.
That's the machinery. That's why your spirit is in charge when you meditate, to bring it back into the path that you're intending to take. Right. So that's the first part, right? Is those 4 crystals and meditating on where it is that I want to put down my roots, okay, going forward. And you really want to get into the emotion of it. Like when I think Vegas, I think celebration, I think dancing, I think, body movement, I think joy, all of that, right? And when I think home, I think peace, I think cozy, I think comfort, right?
Yes.
So you really want to attach the emotion of what space that you want to create with all of that. Now, also, in addition to that, and, we might have a bit, we might need an extra hand or two, okay? Because we also want to bring in the quartz energy, because the quartz energy, and I really love this piece. This piece here is a Faden quartz crystal.
So beautiful.
See this, right?
Yeah.
This is a Faden quartz. And the quartz energy is all about change, right? That's going to superpower the shifting, all right? When we get into that, all right?
It's an amplifier.
Exactly. It boosts that aura.
It all out. Yep.
So all of the energy that you can muster with those first 4 crystals, that quartz is going to put it on a supersonic pulse.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Then we've got Tiger's Eye. Now, Tiger's Eye, being a stone of courage, right, is going to enable us to walk through what's going to need to happen to get us to where we visualized going with the least amount of panic possible. Okay. Because human beings don't like change. Those little pathways in the brains don't like being rerouted. Right.
That's right.
So definitely take that Tiger's Eye with you, because it will give you the courage to withstand that change. And Tiger's Eye is specifically for the business part for me. Okay. So the first 4 crystals were for the home, right? The quartz is going to amplify all of it, but my Tiger's Eye is going to be programmed for business pursuits, because we've got 3 Crones that is going into a next level. I've got my own stuff that is going into a next level, and so on. Now, the last one is Carnelian, and I have a piece of Carnelian around here, but I don't know where it's at right now.
It's shy.
I love Carnelian. It's a Virgo stone.
Here we go. Yes. Oh, so here's my Carnelian. And it's almost like a banded agate type of Carnelian.
I love it.
Okay. And this one is specifically for new opportunities, something different, something unique, something that has not happened before. And it's an excellent stone for unblocking your sacral chakra, right? Which is all about the creativity. What can I create that I never thought that I could create? That if I actually believed that I could create it, would create something greater than I've ever imagined, right?
I love that creativity.
Yeah.
I do too, right? So if your sacral chakra is blocked, you might be finding you've got troubles in finding successful new adventures, okay, or new ventures.
Yep.
Now, I can tell you, mine has been blocked. And you know how I know? I have been experiencing reaching out for new employment and not getting the job,
You're
and
not
reaching
supposed
out
to.
for a new place to live and finding out it's a Craigslist scam. Okay. That's how you know that your sacral is actually blocked, when you're taking steps to create something and it gets blocked. All right, for whatever reason. So do a little bit of extra work if you find, like me, that your creative efforts are getting blocked, and just take a little time to meditate with just that carnelian and visualize your sacral chakra opening and spinning and pulsing in a very vibrant and robust manner. Okay.
Yeah, and then visualize it actually expanding out. And may I add something
Yes, please do.
to this creation? I love creating what I call abundant bowls, and that's essentially what you're creating is an abundant bowl, and they're fantastic for right now for the new moon energy. Add on to this if you desire your affirmation of what it is. So, and put it like all those crystals that you're going to be meditating with. And I say put it in a bowl because that sets your intention. You're firming your intention.
Yes.
Rather than creating a grid, you're firming your intention into a bowl, into a vessel. And it doesn't mean it's not there for expansion. It just means that it's like you're putting a full stop or an exclamation point.
And I like the idea of a bowl because we feed ourselves from a bowl.
Yeah.
And I love that. And make sure it has to be, ceramic, porcelain. It has to be of a
no plastic.
material.
Tupperware does not apply.
Plastic, no Tupperware. If it's a bowl that it has meaning to you, even better. If it's a bowl that has been given to you, like I have a friend, she gave me this gorgeous wooden bowl, and I actually make abundant bowls in it all the time because the bowl was given to me with such generosity. And so for me, it's that's what it is. I have another bowl that my mom got when we were down in Australia, and so it too has that because it was made from the dirt. It's made from the sand or the dirt in central part of Australia by the Aboriginals. So it has all this. So you see, when something is made and you use it to amplify your intentions, it just, it's amazing.
And yes, Tracy, a wood bowl would work because it is a natural.
Wood bowl does work. That's the one that Michelle Davis gave me. And I love it. And I have one, like I said, and then I have a crystal bowl I've used that was a family heirloom. My grandmother gave it to me. It was her aunt's or something. I don't know. All I know is that it's been a generational thing. And I use that when I need to do release work.
Right. Right. I want to add a couple more things onto that. And that is light a candle while you're meditating. You'll want to go with an orange candle if at all possible, because this is all of this is combined, a creative venture. Yeah. You want to visualize orange. You want to visualize, again, the fire, right? Damaris, is there a particular oil that would be good to anoint that candle with?
I would say wild orange, tangerine, any of that. One of those two.
Bergamot.
Yeah.
Bergamot's another really good one.
Awesome. It's a good one. I like that one too because it's about self-empowerment and self-confidence. The bergamot. So that one's really good. The wild orange is for abundance. So I like that one. I mean, you could do a combination of both. A drop.
Definitely. Yeah, I would do that. Definitely. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you for the space for me to go long on that. Let's get back to our tasks of the day, because we have a winner to crown today. Today, congratulations to Karen Ducharme Brucknow. Yay!
All right. Yay,
Karen. I know that you're a longtime viewer, so I'm sure that you know how it goes. But for those of you who don't know how it goes, Karen has won a 30-minute reading from one of the 3 crones, the crone of her choice. So if Karen picks me, it will be either an EFT tapping session or an intuitive tarot reading. If she picks Krista, it will be a crystal reading.
A crystal reading, yep.
Yes. And if she picks Damaris, it will be either an intuitive tarot reading or a numerology reading. So all you have to do is reach out to one of us and let us know who you've chosen and schedule when you would like to collect your prize. So thank you so much for being a supportive member of 3 Crones in the Woo Woo. And I can't wait to see who you pick. Awesome. All right, my loves, it's about that time for us to say thank you to our sponsors and contributors. As always, thank you to Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista. That can be found on Facebook. Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. And yours truly, Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. From all of us here at 3 Crones in the Woo Woo, thank you so much for being part of our joint effort. And may you have an absolutely phenomenal week ahead.